guys, this is going to be a tough video to do. This is the video I've been teasing for a while. I have recorded it numerous times. I actually got as far as having it edited at one point, and my computer decided to give me the middle finger when I tried to render it. It was like, nope. It was like a 40-minute video, so I'm probably going to break this down into two for you guys, so you don't have to sit through 40 minutes of me yabbering on in one go. Hi to the new subscribers. This is a very personal video. I'll link a couple of videos I mentioned during this video up above in the iCard, where I tell certain stories that do sort of have an involvement in this one. But I am actually going to call my father by his name. I'm not going to say his surname or anything like that. It isn't Young because that's my stepdad's last name. But I am going to use my father's real first name, which is Stephen. Now, I'm going to say this at the beginning and I'm going to say it at the end. Should he ever see this video, hi Stephen, the emotions and experiences I state in this video are mine. The memories I have, they are the way I felt, the way I interpreted things. You may remember them differently, you may have interpreted them differently, but this is how I feel. And another factor, my mother has nothing to do with this. Do not take it out on her because it will only make me hate you even more. I currently do. And don't take it out on my stepdad either because it's got nothing to do with him. My mum does know that I have been talking about making this video for a while, and she's fine about it. I said, well, there might be a bit of kickback with him, and she's like, don't worry, I can deal with that. Should it happen. So, but if you do see this, you do not take this out on my mum because it has nothing. This is how I feel. She actually did try her best to not make me hate you. You did that all on your own. So I'm going to tell you about my biological father, Stephen. He was one of six. His sister passed shortly after she was born, and then he had a brother that was between him and one of his brother that was next one down. That is currently the next one down. There was originally another brother in between, but he died in a farm accident when he was 16. My biological father is the oldest of all those children, as far as I'm aware. Both his parents are no longer with us. This is the son of the woman who died when she was 30 stone. So, yeah. So, let's get on with this. Right. When I was born, there was me, my mum, Stephen, and my brother. Now, my brother, my stepbrother, my stepsister, and my stepmom, I'm not going to go by name. Or my stepdad, because again they have very little involvement. My step siblings have a small involvement, but not huge involvement. This is mainly me and my biological father. When I was 6 months old, my mum kicked Stephen out for a handful of reasons. While she was in hospital with me, she was in hospital for 2 weeks. She was in hospital for a week before because she was in back labour, and they were hoping that it would transition into normal labour and then trying also to get it to transition into normal labour, but it took forever. And she was in hospital for a week after. I don't know who was looking after my brother when that happened, but probably Stephen's mum was possibly looking after him. So like I say, he's 4 years older than I am, so he's going to be 40 next year. So that was one issue. While my mum was in hospital, sorry, I got sidetracked there. He was sleeping with other people and he was engaged to an 18-year-old, I think. He was 28. It was just before he turned 29. So he wasn't a very nice guy. He would also work out. He would work. He would finish work. May have come home. 9 times out of 10 he didn't. He'd go straight to the club, and then from there he would go home to my mum, having drunk most of his wages away, and also expected my mum to feed me, my brother, and him and her on next to no money because he would drink his wage away. He was a very nasty drunk. Very nasty drunk. There are other reasons, but my mum's never told me them. She just says that there are other reasons behind it, and that she'll probably never tell me. So I dread to think. In actual fact, I try not to, because it would only make me hate him worse than I currently do. When my mum kicked him out, he didn't fight for custody at all. And she actually went easy on him with regards to child support. She let him off easy with £20 a week for child support. Bear in mind, Stephen worked, my stepmother worked. They both had very decent jobs. My mum struggled to keep a job because when all this happened, I was very small. So she had to rely on a lot of people, including some of Stephen's siblings. He didn't fight for custody at all. We saw him for a few hours a week, and that was on a Wednesday. Occasionally we'd see him on a weekend, but 9 times out of 10 it was on a Wednesday. And at first I worshipped the ground he walked on, and my brother kept saying, oh, he's this, that and the other, and I'd be like, no, he's not. There was a short time during my childhood that we didn't see him. I don't remember this, but there's a lot of things that I don't remember. My mum told me about this. There was a fallout where he thought my mum had done something when she hadn't, and instead of talking to me, mum, he just took it out on us and we didn't see him for, I think it might have been 6 months to a year, I'm not sure, but I was relatively young at the time. When I was there, I always felt unwanted. I always felt nothing more than a burden or a nuisance. Like I said, my brother is 4 years older than me. My stepsister is 2 years older than me, and my stepbrother is 10 months older than me. My Stephen and my stepmom got married when I think it was 2 or 2.5. I do have pictures of what I look like, and he actually lied to mum and didn't tell her that he was getting married or that I was being a bridesmaid until after the fight. And apparently he forced me, my brother, not to tell my mum, which I don't remember, so at all. I don't even remember the wedding. Like I said, I never felt welcome, and I never felt wanted. I felt like I was just this little thing that he had to put up with once a week for a couple of hours, and that he was happier when I went there. And it's common when you're in a family where the parents are split up and then there's other relationships. I've known a few people this has happened to, so it's not just me. In my early teens, I started realising that some of the things he'd said didn't add up, and some of the things he didn't add up. Again, this is my perception and this is my memory of things. That's when I started to see holes in the perfect father I thought I had. There was a few issues with my stepsister, and the way that was handled now makes me cringe. It really does. And there was a lot of issues. My brother, my brother had a few issues at school. My stepbrother had quite a few issues at school. He was rather intelligent, but he just seemed not to care, I don't think. Like I say, we were in the same year at both primary school and secondary school, because there's only 10 months between us. He was born October, and then I was born the following August. I was born 2 days before the cut-off, no, 1 day before the cut-off of being the year below. There was an issue I had at school. I'll link the video above where I go more into that issue. But my mum was going in to sort it out, and she needed either Stephen or my stepdad to be with her to give her a bit of backup. They mentioned it to Stephen. He didn't want to be there. He didn't want anything to do with it. So he signed a waiver, a sort of a waiver, a letter saying that he gave permission to my stepdad to be there, and my stepdad was there. And my stepdad, you know, pretty much fought my corner, which I adore him for. But that was just another thing that made me think, you'll go and sort my stepsister's stuff out, you'll go and sort my stepbrother's stuff out, but the one issue I have, you don't want anything to do with. I was the least troublemaker out of the four of us, which is a bit of a surprise. Now, when I was about 13, 14, my brother got kicked out for a handful of reasons. There was theft, there was the way he was treating multiple people in the family, his disrespect of my mum's decisions, and the fact that he would literally fight with my stepdad for hours on end. So for those reasons and some others that I'm not going to go into, he was kicked out. He moved in with my stepsister, and then my stepsister moved out of that house, but he stayed in the house, and then he and Stephen got closer because of that, and obviously I think it was also because he was mad at my mum that he thought, right, I'm going to rebel and be on Stephen's side. But at this point I was starting to realise Stephen's not the person that I thought he was. Now, there are a few notes I've put here that I'm not going to go into, but there's other issues that sort of made me feel like Stephen fared more towards my stepbrother and stepsister than myself. It was basically like I was an afterthought. Oh yeah, I've got a daughter. When I went to college and uni, he had nothing to say about that, except for one incident. When I was at university, I think I was in my second year, he was at the club with my granddad, with his father, my paternal grandfather, and he bumped into a family friend, a guy that I'd grown up with, and who had a big part in my life, through a large part of my childhood. And they bumped into each other, and he said, verbatim, don't know why she's bothering, she's not even going to graduate. At which point, my friend's wife was extremely upset by that, because during my first year at university we had courses together, and she knew I was doing well, so she couldn't understand why he was being so negative towards me getting a degree, and it surprised me as well, trust me. Then I found out about this, and I didn't speak to him. I don't think I spoke to him until about 6 or 7 months before my graduation, and I finished in uni. So I went over to see him, because he lived around the corner from my mum at this stage, still does, and he lied to my face, and I could tell he was lying. I just made it out that I believed him, left the house, got home, said to my mum, I said, I never want to see him again. I said, that's the final straw. I said, he's lied to me too much. I said, I said, he's always taken the other three side over mine. I said, he's never once said, I'm proud of you, you go. He's never ever been in my corner. And it was just the final straw. I'd had enough. I'd had enough with the lies. I'd had enough with the bull. I'd had enough with him trying to make me feel guilty for questioning him. And why would you think that? And even my stepmother said, he would never do that. And it's like, you weren't even there, so how do you know? Because the person who told me about it would never lie to me. That is one thing he would never do. The gentleman that told me about this is somebody that I have literally known since I was an infant. He lived at the top of Monmouth Street, and he spent a lot of time at our house, and it's not the type of thing he'd lie about. And the fact that Stephen lied to my face about it hurts. It was the final lie. It was the final straw. It was literally the final straw. I had had enough. There's a lot of others that went on that I'm not aware of. Lots of other things that went on that I'm not aware of between my mum and Stephen. I think I've said that before. But it's a case of I can guess, and like I said, just thinking about it makes me hate him even more. Just thinking of the possibilities, it hurts. He was a cheater, he was a non-cheater, and my mum had several friends, one of which Stephen's now married to, that wanted him. Obviously, one of them got him, but there were other people that wanted him. Now, whether he did something with them, I don't know. So I'm not going to give specifics. He never once said that he was proud of me. He never once treated me with respect, and he was never once honest. I don't think he knows the word honest, or what it means. He to me now is my sperm donor, but I've had a lot of people ask me why I'm not, why I can't forgive him. And I remember once, because I have mum's login for Facebook, I went onto my mum's Facebook and she got a message of somebody saying, why don't you speak to your son? And I said, well, it's funny, they message you but they don't message me. And I said, you see him more than I do. And she's like, yeah. And, I never get questioned about it, but there are people that say to me, that have had similar family issues. Why can't you get past it? And I said, because I'm not ready. A former toxic friend used to say to me, just forgive him, just let bygones be bygones. And I said, that's not the point. I said, I cannot stand the guy. I said, the guy makes me so mad, it's untrue. So, like I said, that was the final straw. Now, that was my biological father, Stephen. I have a stepfather. Like I said, he and my mum had been friends throughout a large portion of my childhood. They got together when I was, I think, either 10 or 11. Got married when I was 16, and they're still together now. Sometimes he drives me to the wall, but that's normal. But he's never lied. So I'll give you a few bits of information about my stepdad. He was there when I was going through secondary school. He was there when I went through college. He was there when I was at university. He was there when I graduated. He was there when I had my EDS trigger event. Another video I'll link up above. He was there throughout that. He was there with most of the hospital visits I had. He was there with countless trips to A&E, which is Accident Emergency, the British equivalent of the ER. And he was there through a large portion of my life. He was there when I got married. He gave me away. He walked me down the aisle. I adore my stepfather for who he is and what he is. He is a good man, and he showed me what a father should be. he is somebody that I have a lot of respect for. He's a decent guy, very much a decent guy, and I love him. I love him to pieces. I never change him ever. So we can't all have the perfect family, the perfect father. Now my mother, she was a single mother. I'm the product of a single mother. My mother tried her best to raise me and my brother the best way that she possibly could, with morals, with standards, and knowing right from wrong. Now, I have mentioned before that I was sort of raised religious, but not. I think as a compromise, I went to a C B primary school. I was given the choice of going to a C B secondary school. My brother and my stepbrother didn't. They went to a normal comprehensive secondary school. My stepsister went to a Church of England secondary school. I was given the same options, and I said no, just a standard school. So I didn't have to pray twice a day anymore, and things like that. And that I had to do in primary school because it was a Church of England primary school. So, but my mum tried to, she raised me on her own. She had to, because there was issues with my brother, she'd lose jobs, and there was only one member of Stephen's family that gave my mum any type of support. Occasionally, one of his brothers would look after us, but there wasn't one of his other brothers, which is the one that's under him, the next one down from him, not the one that died. The one that's currently the next one down from him had a large influence on my life, as did his two stepchildren. Now, I don't speak to them anymore. A lot of it isn't through any fault of my own. Well, it is, because I don't see them. I know my cousins, which are his stepchildren, don't live anywhere near my mum anymore. But they had more of an impact on my life than Stephen did. Because this particular brother was the only one that stood by my mum when my mum kicked Stephen out for cheating. Because all the rest of them stood behind Stephen, except for this one brother who said, no,